Welcome to Anna Explains, and today I'm going to be explaining to you what to do with your child when you're homeschooling and how to socialize your child while you're homeschooling. Let's talk about it. Okay, so socializing your child. This is the most problematic question people always ask me. So you've been homeschooling for 5 years. Okay, you've got all the resources online. That's not a problem. You've got online tutors on math. You've got online tutors in English. But how the hell you get your child to socialize with other children when the rest of the children are basically at school? And it's a very good question. But before we start discussing it and before I lay down all the advice and all the things I did while I was homeschooling, let's talk about what actually the term socialization, oh my gosh, that's a long way to pronounce, isn't it? That's a long word. But anyway, what the term socializing actually means. What do you mean? What does the people who talk about socializing here and socializing there, and this is a big problem here and there, what do we actually mean by that term? All right, let's make it clear. So socializing, I've written it down for myself. What is it? It's the ability for any human being contact with people of all age. That's a very important point, because when we talk about socializing our kids, we normally sort of mean, or someone talks to you about socializing your children, they normally mean that you are actually socializing with the same age group. And what tends to happen is those kids who spend 10, 12 years with the same age group at school and they go to work, they can't actually socialize with other age group. So if someone younger, they find a real problem socializing, or there's someone older, they got a real problem socializing. But the matter of fact is, when the child gets out of school and goes back to work, or he goes to college, he will end up dealing with people all sorts of ages. So socializing is just the ability in this world to make contact with people of any age group. Now, that is the most important aspect. So you need to teach your child to deal with any age group people. Now, the worry that your child has to be just with the age group of your child is not actually relevant. It needs to be any age child group. So if your child are talking quite nicely to your neighbor, to its trainer, to younger brothers and sisters, or whatever, he's also socializing. He's also socializing. Socializing is not just dealing with the people of the same age group. Let me repeat that. Right. So, rule number 1. So we discussed socializing. What did I do? First things first, before I joined any homeschooling groups, which is the most amazing amount of them in the UK, and I'm sure in America and the States as well. But the first thing that I did is I found from my child what he or she, my child was a boy when I started first homeschooling my son Alex, what he actually wanted to do, what his talents were, what he liked doing, right? And that was really important. So he liked to play the piano, so we joined piano classes. He wanted to try to play tennis, but he couldn't actually hit a ball, which was amazing. So we stopped playing tennis. He liked art, we joined art groups. So you find out what your child wants to do. Socialize with your child. Ask your child a question. It's quite simple and genius at the same time. Ask your child a question. Billy, Johnny, James, Suzanne, I don't know, whoever it is. Darling, what do you like to do? Do you like to draw? Would you like to sing? Would you like to dance? Would you like to swim? And whatever your child wants to do, join those groups. Because, if you watched in my previous videos, you have that extra time to develop your child's talent that the school takes from you quite in advance. So you find out from your child what he wants to do, and then join those social groups, join those activities. And in those activities, it will doubly work for you, because he will be doing and developing what he likes to do. So if he'd be drawing, he'll be involved in the drawing, and there'll be kids of his age group, right? If you want to join him with his age group class, and he'll be socializing at the same time. Now, another thing, what I recommend to do, if you're homeschooling, join all the supporting social networks. There's loads of groups in the local area, Facebook groups, there's loads of Yahoo groups, there's lots of homeschooling support in the UK, and those parents are in the same boat as you are. They are doing the same thing, and they also want to socialize those children that they have, and they are so supportive. You will be surprised how quickly they respond. If you put a post on Facebook group, homeschooling Facebook group, that hi, I'm Anna, I've got a 12-year-old son, if you'd like to come over, if you'd like to socialize, can you please advise me any activities you guys do, any gathering you guys do, you'll get an amazing feedback. People will start commenting and inviting, and hey, I've got this and I've got this, let's meet up, let's meet for a coffee, there's a pub day here and a pub day there. So that's another really important support that you will get as a parent, to realize that I'm not alone in this journey with my children, but also there are other parents that are doing it, and also my children can socialize. So that's another activities you guys can do. And on top of that, besides making some friends, some genuine friends with some people that you like, you also can join all sorts of groups that they organize. They're very proactive, and they do all sorts of homeschooling groups, math tutoring, science tutoring, English tutoring, forest schools, all, climbing, all, gymnastics, all sorts of type, arts, of course, all sorts of types. So, and they're very, very friendly. That's so rule number 2, or advice number 2. I did say to you in my previous video, this is water, and I decided in every video I'm going to be showing you my new crystal glass collection, because I'm obsessed with Bohemian crystal glasses, and they're beautiful, and I just drink water from it. I don't really drink alcohol, very occasionally drink a glass of wine, and I just think life is too short to drink from plastic cups or anything like that, so I'm just enjoying myself, having a sip of water. And giving you the third advice for today, looking at my book. Another thing that really helped me is join National Trust. I got National Trust, Family National Trust Pass, and I was just traveling a lot with my children. Actually, we used to go to all sorts of times and did all sorts of activities in different buildings. We read history about the building before we traveled, and it ended up being much cheaper than a normal day on a National Trust. There wasn't so many people there wasn't so many queues, not so long to park or wait to park. So actually plan your week when you've got one National Trust visit in different places, and that's another way to socialize. And coming back to where we started, when you go to those National Trust building and your children talk to some musician, or looking at some art gallery or whatever, musician, what am I talking about? Not musician. How is it called, the person that work in a museum? Those volunteers people, how do they are called? Right, write me in the comments, please, how they called, because I forgot. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. Those volunteers people in a National Trust buildings that normally there, and they're normally, I don't know, pensioners, those people. So if your child is able to ask a question to one of those people, ask yourself, is he socializing, or is it just we don't count? Is that person, elderly person, is not really a person, right? So always remember that if my child has got an ability to talk to any age group, he's already socializing. And school normally just uses that threat as a bit of a scare. It's like, oh my gosh, well, your child won't have any friends. Oh my gosh, your child won't be able to socialize. He's gonna grow up as some sort of weirdo, strange person. And do you think that your child, if he's been bullied for 10 years at school, is not going to grow up as a strange person, traumatized strange person that will carry on that trauma for the rest of his life? Does that school takes that into account? Always remember that if you decided to take your child out of school, you did it for a reason. Respect your reason, respect the decision that your family made, stick to it, and remember, socializing is the ability to talk to any age group. If you liked my videos, I tried to be short today. If you liked my video, please like that, push the button, subscribe, and leave your comments. I really like reading them. Even if they're a bit negative, I still like reading them, because good critic is the best critic. And if there's anything I need to improve, let me know. Thank you so much, and bye.